and welcome to the very first episode of our new show, Pawns and Patrons, as opposed to many other possible pronunciations of our title. How's everybody doing today? It's so good to see you.
Oh, just weathering the apocalypse here in Seattle.
Oh my God.
I told you it was
so
coming.
yellow.
It's 10 a.m. just to be clear. That's not a sunset. That's smoke,
Wow.
But we're gonna be inside in a fantasy world where my favorite cities are not burning down.
I'm glad that my long-term hobby is so disaster proof.
Yep.
Yeah.
Past Steven made good choices.
Hey, if you're gonna take one hobby into the apocalypse, let it be the one that takes place 99% in your own head.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. If people didn't, actually, Steven has all the plans. I should stop. My hosting tendencies are cut.
Well, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say that we have history, and I like telling people why we're all here playing together.
Anna, I think that sounds like such a good idea. If one of you four could please tell us that information, that would be really great. Anna, how about you?
Sure. So most of us have been playing together for years and years, since way back in the day when we were playing Misclicks D&D with Pirate Edition and some guest appearances and things, and Nimmergeist with Steven. So how many years did we say it's been now? 7. Yeah. So this is my longest playing D&D group. In fact, it was the group that I started playing D&D with, and we started on stream. So this is the continuation of my D&D roots. So it makes me very happy. And we've played at least 10 different campaigns together. And this is the newest one, which is not D&D and something new and fantastic.
Right, you are, Anna. We're going to be playing a game called Dungeon Crawl Classics, which is, it sort of splits the difference between old school Renaissance style games that seek to emulate first edition Dungeons and Dragons or old DX D&D, and a more modern role-playing sort of game. It's almost like first edition feel, but with modern rule sets and things like that. But before we dive into it too much, I just want to say hi. I want to appreciate all of you fine people. Let everybody in chat settle in, get your drinks. We're going to be going for 4 hours tonight. This is a once a month stream, so we're going to really grind through some adventuring today and then see where we end off. But Rachel, how are you?
Oh, I'm great. Looks like all the yellow that was in my sky has blown its way up north to Anna. So I've got, just kind of like a smoky gray existence down here in California. Very grateful to have D&D and things like this to create social events for me to interact with other humans in the year of our Lord 2020. And couldn't pick 4 better people to play with. I'm so excited for this game. I know you guys have a lot of history, and I know we played about a year of another space game. Oh, Starfinder. Neal and Jen and Anna and I together, and that was amazing. I really hope that this game runs as long, and I'm so excited to be playing with you again. And Steven, an old GM from many moons ago, we played a quick game, and now I'm so excited to be in it for the long haul with you. You can't get rid of me, dude. I latched on. I'm sticking.
I would never want to.
So I'm just happy to be with you guys.
Hell yeah. Jen, how about you? How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm living my best indoors life and just working from home and enjoying that. And I am so stoked to be playing this campaign with you guys. It's like if I had to assemble my ultimate cast, it's literally this group. I think the chemistry is going to be great, and I can't wait. And I have so many memories of D&D with all of you guys. And we shall make more now.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yes, I expect laughter, where we cry of laughter. I'm hoping for some tears. I hope we'll get heartbroken at some point. And I'm hoping from some crazy drama as well, like we brought in some episode where you have Yeah, somebody slapping somebody else or something virtually.
That's the definition of drama.
I do not encourage this in real life, but in D&D for the theatrics, I can see that happening.
I like
I'll have to
peak
make-
drama is like a Desperate Housewives episode.
Like, no, you didn't.
I'll have to make sure I have my like old school slap fight supplement ready.
Yes.
Fantastic.
You know that also one of Jen and my characters will at least start dating. Like that always happens. So just
Probably.
be aware of that.
Duly noted.
Okay.
I will moderate my expectations. Neal, tell us about yourself. Say hi. What are you up to?
Well, the snow has finally cleared, so we can move around now, which is nice. And the broken trees in the parking lot are being hauled away. So the apocalypse is getting better over here. We're expecting a few more days of nice weather before we return to the 90s again. But other than that, life is pretty good. I wish my cat didn't bite me so much.
Yeah, man,
Is
me
he still
too.
in the bitey stage?
He's never going to leave. He's got so much personal space. And all you want to do, he's so handsome. He's like the most handsome cat you're going to find. And all you want to do is pick him up and hold him. And he is not okay with that. And he will let you know he's not okay with that. It was just kind of heartbreaking.
Kintsugi is very unhappy that when we play Warhammer on our dining table, she does not get to lie in the middle of the battlefield and push all the miniatures off of the table. So that is why I have a number of bites and claw marks in doing Mortal Kombat with Kintsugi. Well,
that sounds like a hero unit, actually.
are
true.
you all ready to get started and play some game?
Let's do it.
So
So
ready.
excited.
Game.
Kind of nervous. I don't know. There's like so much potential for cool characters.
It's going to be great. And also one of the things about Dungeon Crawl Classics, so like one, I haven't played a lot. I have played like a number of episodes, a number of sessions of Dungeon Crawl Classics, but nothing like 5th edition D&D. So like we're all going to be learning as we go along. If we get rules wrong, we'll do the classic like roll a d20 and see whose opinion wins, and then we'll figure it out later. I've got the rule book, which looks like this, everybody.
It looks so cool.
Yes, it's got foil cover. Ooh, ah.
Wow.
And I've got a whole bunch of handouts in Roll20 that will help us all. Like we can look and reference. Like, wait, what's my modifier for this again? What kind of damage do I deal? So I think it'll be totally great, and there will 100% be shenaniganery. So first of all, before we jump into introducing our 0 level PCs, I just want to affirm something for chats, all of our chats, which is that prior to this show, we had a very lovely conversation about safety tools, and we have a number that we all discussed, evaluated, and decided to opt into and use. So I just want everybody like thumbs up. We're taking really good care of each other, and we've had a number of important conversations about how to have an awesome role-playing game, and I know that we will. So with that out of the way, let's take a look at our 0 level characters. So here at the starting screen that I believe all of you should be looking at right now, we have 4 boxes, one for Anna, Jen, Rachel, and Neal. And then in the middle of these 4 boxes, we've got 40 different tokens for
Whoa.
all of our possible characters. And this should be kind of a Hungry Hippos kind of thing. Each of you should be able to grab those tokens and move them around. So feel free to like, put your cursors on there and confirm that you can just grab them. And
Yep.
excellent.
Yes.
Then what I want to do is I want to go around the table and I want to let each of you grab whichever token you think would work for one of your characters and move it over into your box. So chat, Dungeon Crawl Classics doesn't start with a fully loaded first level character. No, Dungeon Crawl Classics starts with each of our wonderful players controlling 4 0 level PCs who are terrible at everything. And then they're going to go
Whoa.
they're going to go running through a deadly dungeon that from which the wheat will be separated from the chaff, so to speak. And out of these 16 characters will arise, hopefully, 4 or more powerful, potent pawns for our patrons to manipulate. So, first of all, Rachel, choose one of the characters that you have rolled up, and go ahead and grab a token for one of them and move it into your box.
So I'm gonna start with Dunatush, and Dunatush is a bit of a glass cannon. You do not want to touch her, and so I will say
I hope you don't pick the one I want.
I am going to grab this young woman who looks like she does not want to be touched.
Awesome. So here's what I'm going to do. If I double click your token, Rachel, I'm going to do this on my own, and then I will let each of you do this the second round. So I double click the token and I choose represents character, and I'm going to go RO4 Donné Touché. And then for bar 3, I'm just going to make that be HP. Ooh, Donné Touche. Donné Touche, is that her name?
Dunnaetouche.
Fantastic. Donné Touche has 1 hit point. Fantastic. That's gonna go well.
That's my girl.
Oh my gosh.
While we're looking at this, Rachel, would you tell us a little bit about Donné Touche?
Sure. Dunatush is aware early on that she does not want to be touched, and so she knows that she's got to be quick. She's got a tough life. She's just on the streets, so she doesn't really build up defenses. She puts it all kind of into speed growing up, and she wants to be a quick little kid. And also, she's picked up some skills along the way. She's kind of like a budding cleric, so we'll see if she can kind of make use of any of those abilities going forward, or if
What's her occupation?
Her occupation is where did it go?
Upper left.
Wizard's apprentice.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Awesome.
Yeah. She's like a scurry about foot kind of little mouse.
Let's see, and then we'll make sure that. Yep. Cool. Yep. And then I can open up Donné Touche, and I can make sure that we use selected token for this character and save changes. Fantastic. So I think that should be all set up. Now, Neal, grab someone.
We're gonna take Grand Neal right here.
Oh, Grand Neal.
Grand Neal, the lawyer. Yeah.
So what I'm doing here is I'm selecting the drop down represents character, selecting Grand Neal, the lawyer. Next to name, I'm checking the checkbox that says show nameplate. Next to bar number 3, I'm making that represent HP, a rowdy 4 hit points. For Grand Neal. And then I'm going to the advanced tab, and I'm just checking the player permissions to see the name and bar number 3, just so that everybody can see all of our hit points and everything. Fantastic. Jen, go ahead and grab a character.
Yes, I'm gonna grab this one.
Amazing. So once again, gonna double click. And who is this representing?
So she is Redre, the
Fantastic.
female herder who herds livestock.
What kind of livestock?
She herds sheep. Yes, sheep,
Fantastic.
and she has a herding dog. And during her life, she got struck by lightning once. And now, for the second time, lightning has struck on her life and killed all of her herd. And this is why she decided to leave her house, because she think, how can lightning strike me twice? This must be a sign. So I must go and leave my house. So yes, she's gonna leave her house and force her stay-at-home son to follow her into adventure.
There was just some discourse in the games industry on moms in games. So I'm very glad that we have good mom representation here in Pawns and Patrons. All right, Anna, of course, I've already set up your first character, Frog Dude here.
Excuse me, Froge Dudet.
My apologies, good Senor Froge Dudet. So that's like our archetypal character here.
Yes.
So would all 4 of you now grab a second token, and then I'll step through with all 4 of you on how to set it up on your own.
Okay, I think that's gonna be her son. Yes.
Excellent, excellent. Fantastic. So would each of you double click on the token that you just selected? You should see an edit token pop up. Under represents character, you should click that, and then from the drop down, choose which character you are representing with this token?
I think M gets that.
Yeah, we don't have that.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh no, is it me? All right then. Anna, who are you representing?
That's Fran the horse lady.
Fran, the horse lady. HP, advanced, see the name, see the bar. Save changes. And then for Anna, Fran, the horse lady, use selected token. Fantastic. We're just going to shoot through this really quickly. Fran, the horse
Yeah.
lady with 1 hit point. Jen, how about you?
This is Grolabless. It's Redra's son.
Grolabless, the son of Redra, another
Yeah.
4 hit point character. He is going to
He's
do great.
tanky,
Yeah. And then Grolabless, we're going to
but he's very weak actually.
use selected token. What's his strength? 9? That's not that bad. He's not very lucky though.
Yeah, he's very unlucky.
Rachel,
Well, I
who do
mean,
you
his
have?
mom got struck by lightning twice. What do you expect?
It runs in the family.
Mine's a Cyrie, Cyrie. She's got 4 HP, and she is a wanderer.
Nice. Very cool. And then Cyrie,
Beetle.
use selected token. Fantastic. This is a little bit of bookkeeping that's just going to make it a lot easier later on to like drag characters onto the tabletop. Neal, who is this?
That is Hagatha, the beekeeper.
Agatha, the beekeeper.
She keeps
Tell us one interesting fact of note about Hagatha.
Oh, she keeps far more than bees, but those things are buried under the ground, and
Oh my god.
you'll have to find them on your own or join them.
Fantastic. All right, everybody grab your third character.
There's no overlap so far. Everybody's picking different.
So far we're all good. Neal, tell me about your third character.
That's Guy Claypool. Like we're
Guy Claypool?
but, like, he really just wants to sing. Yeah, man.
Amazing. And let's see, Guy Claypool. Use token. Fantastic. Rachel, how about you?
This is Beverly.
Beverly. Tell us a little bit about Beverly.
Beverly is a blacksmith. She is a producer of some of the finest weapons in the land. But perhaps when she got that government contract, she didn't put the best materials into those weapons. And now the law has come for her as well.
Is she may be on the run.
She might be.
Amazing. She also notably has 5 hit points, which is enormous.
Whoa!
She is by far my best character.
Amazing. Jen, who is your third character?
So this is Mom Churro. She's
Mom.
a mushroom farmer, indeed. So she's always looking for a better place to grow mushroom at, and she heard that maybe where we're headed is going to be a great place to farm them mushrooms.
Absolutely. Anna, who's this?
This is Shambler.
Shambler.
And I think I named this character Shambler to remind me that there was something to do with their speed. Looks like they have speed
Let's
-2.
see. Right, so they are... What are they? Are they just a human?
Ask
No, they're a
people that,
dwarf. So
Steven.
they're a dwarf, and also, so here's a thing about Dungeon Crawl Classics. When you start the game, you make you roll randomly to determine a birth augur. The birth augur that Shambler rolled reduced Shambler's speed, so Shambler moves at 10 feet per round.
Yep. And proud of it.
Fantastic. And finally, oh wait, let me hook up Shambler to your character sheet.
How did you see on that sheet that Shambler was a dwarf? I couldn't see it anywhere.
If you click over to attributes and abilities, about halfway down the page, I think, there's heritage.
I see it.
which is dwarf.
Got it.
Yep. All right. And then finally, all of you grab your 4th tokens, and then we'll talk a little bit about DCC, and then we'll get started playing. Neal, tell me who this is.
Oh, that's Barbara, the barrel maker. But she's really more of an artist in general. Barrel making just happens to be what pays the bills. No one is buying her mosaics yet, but like there's a big asterisk over that yet. They're going to be hot, Steven. They're going to be so hot. but we make.
I'm in
barrels for
line.
now.
I'm gonna have a Barbara the barrel making artist original. Jen, who's this?
Yes, this is Del Derp.
Del Derp. Tell us
Yes,
about Del Derp.
the peddler. She sells, minor goods, spoons,
Spoons.
things she finds along the way. Yes, I don't know why she sells spoons, iron skillets as well, and torches. Anything you would need to go on an adventure, she sells. But hearing about her sister, Mum Churro, and her intent to go grow more mushrooms somewhere else, she thinks maybe there's a business that could be started. And her sister is really crappy at selling her mushrooms, but she thinks she could make good money off it. So she decides to
Amazing.
follow her sister into adventure so that they can become rich.
And Rachel, who's your last character?
This is Agnes. Agnes is a chest maker, but she has started to dabble in magic, and she's got a bit of a reputation around town now, a little outside of town actually, as the mother of mimics, because she likes to make these chests and then imbue them with magic.
So Anna, tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about your final character, the one that we were learning about just before.
Pebegi.
OBS. Peggy.
Yeah. Pebegi is the top beggar in her guild. She views begging as a very noble profession. She's very proud of how good at it she is. She considers it like persuasive speaking and marketing.
And it absolutely is.
Mhm.
Wonderful. Then we are all prepped to get started. Let's talk very briefly about Dungeon Crawl Classics. Let's see. Yep. Yeah, awesome. So I've made a little under a folder in it. So like in the journal tab of Roll20, you should see all of your characters. For example, I can drag one out on the screen. Looks great. There's a folder called DCC Rules, which should be visible to everybody. There's a handout called DCC Oddities that I want to read through real quick. And then there's some cheat sheets and a table for crits, and we can get to those a little later in the game. Some oddities about Dungeon Crawl Classics for you four and also for those of you joining us from home. First of all, we're going to start off with a 0-level funnel, which is a dungeon that will see many of these wonderful, characterful heroes perish terribly. But the ones that survive will immediately gain 10 experience points when they achieve something great, i.e. complete a major adventure with meaningful contribution to it. And 10 XP is what you need to level up to level 1. So hopefully by the end of the day, we're going to have some level 1s. The XP system for Dungeon Crawl Classics is that you earn about 2 experience points for surviving each threatening situation. And I've added onto that, you can also earn about 2 experience points for slaying any notable serious threat. And then you will also earn 1 experience point for spending 100 gold. So keep track of how much gold you've spent because you earn XP for spending money. A cool thing about Dungeon Crawl Classics is it uses something called the dice chain, which goes from like D20 to D16 to D14 to D12. I think there's a D5 and a 7 in there. There's a D30 at the top end. And certain circumstances and conditions can push the die that you're rolling either up, so you're rolling a D24, or down, so you're only rolling a D16. That's going to be a lot of fun. Luck is one of the key stats for characters in Dungeon Crawl Classics. Each of you have a luck score. And one of the things you can do with luck is you can burn it either before or after your roll to permanently reduce your luck to add cumulative +1s to your rolls. And so you can burn 5 luck to add a +5 to one of your rolls. You can recover your luck by adventuring, especially by acting in accordance with your alignment. There's no skills list in Dungeon Crawl Classics, but here's an important note for you players. Anything that you think is relevant from your character's occupation is something that you can say, no, this is a skill that I have, and I'd like to, like roll it as if it was a skill. So get creative in response to your occupations. If you can argue well for it, I'm likely to let it go. Alignments in Dungeon Crawl Classics are lawful, neutral, and chaotic. And these are descriptive rather than prescriptive. They don't prevent you from doing anything, but alignment actually affects things in this game. So like when you're a cleric, if you're trying to heal someone who's an opposite alignment, that one is much less efficient, and then two is likely to anger your deity. So, up to you. Enemy groups have morale, so when you're fighting enemy creatures, your groups of enemies will check their morale when the first creature is slain, and then again when half of the creatures are slain. Single monsters will check their morale at 50% hit points, and retainers, like hirelings, will check their morale at the first serious encounter or danger, and then at the end of each adventure. And it's just a 1d20 plus their will saving throw, and an 11 plus is successful, and they'll keep fighting. But it means that like you're not guaranteed to need to kill everything that you come across. Just as a really quick point of note, a couple things about combat. In combat, each round you can move and then do one thing, and there's a cheat sheet that's the combat actions in that same folder. There are opportunity attacks, so if you move away when you're engaged in melee, they will get a free attack on you, but there's no disengage action to get away for free. So keep that in mind. If you are firing a ranged weapon into melee, if you miss your intended target, you might hit an ally. So be careful. Just to touch really quickly on species and class, classic Dungeon Crawl Classics has the old school convention of like your species is your class. So you play an elf, you play a halfling, you play a human fighter. We're shifting that around. Each species can play any class, and the class, quote unquote, associated with halfling is rogue. The class associated with elf is the spell sword, and the class associated with the dwarf is a knight. So any of you can choose any of these classes as long as you feel like you have stats that are good for it. And then just a really quick homebrew rule here for encumbrance. We're going with simple encumbrance, which is you can carry or wear a number of significant items equal to your strength score. Gold, jewelry, gems, and other things can all go into one bag, which counts as one item for the purposes of carrying up to your strength score. And that one bag can carry up to a count of 100 gold, 100 gems, 100 jewelry items, like whatever. So bear that in mind. It's going to be pretty simple, but it will be important because getting treasure out of dungeons is a thing that matters. With all that said, are you ready to get started?
Heck yeah.
Yes.
Fantastic. Then, to set the scene, here we are. This is Oakwell Hamlet, a small, really tiny village far to the north of the city great, which is under the barony of Justicar Snish, who's the lord who you all owe fealty to and you're all beholden to for taxes, and you work his fields and you make use of his mills, etc. This hamlet is in the borderlands on the border with another country called Uthgarden. Like they're a little bit aggressive, so this Oakwell Hamlet often has a garrison stationed here just to like quell any border tensions. But right now it's fairly peaceful. Before we really kick it off, I'd like to find out why you're all here. So let's see, maybe I can make a macro for this. That I think would be easiest. Let's add a macro Oakwell and then /roll 1t y Oakwell. And then shows token macro, save in bar. And then I think there's something to, right, visible to players, all players, save changes. Okay, so Neal, in the chat channel for Roll20, could you type hashtag Oakwell?
Hashtag Oakwell. Oh.
Nice.
Oh no.
So one of your characters is fleeing a matchmaker. Who is that?
It's Grand Neal. You know, her
Grand
kids
Neal.
are trying to set her up. They think she's lonely. She's not lonely. She might be 85 years old and have a couple of cats, but she's happy and she does not need a boyfriend. Stop trying to get her set up with, the kindly old carpenter down the street. Grand Neal is fine alone.
Amazing. Would you please roll next for Guy Claypool? Guy Claypool just lives here. How about for Hagatha?
That's not true. No, she's here to feed the people, Steven. This is a
Oh,
broken
sorry.
roller. Yeah.
My mistake. And what about for Barbara, the barrel making artist?
Oh.
Sounds like you have some deep roots in Oakwell Hamlet.
Does this mean that I'm visiting dead ancestors, or
It's that you have ancestors here and they're all dead, and why you're here is kind of up to you outside of knowing that about Oakwell.
love it, estate sale?
Hannah, how about you? What about Froge du Day? So again, this is just hashtag Oakwell.
Hashtag Oakwell. Oh, Froge also has family here.
Absolutely. Fantastic. How about for Fran the Horse Lady?
Oh. She owes someone here.
Here to pay a debt. And I think the like, that's a fairly ambiguous statement, right? I wonder what kind of debt Fran the Horse Lady is here to pay.
I think, well, it obviously has something. Let's see. She's an ostler, which I had to
Yes.
Google, but that is apparently someone who like cares for the horses at like an inn.
Yeah.
So I think that she borrowed someone's horse and she has to go give it back.
Nice. That makes perfect sense. How about for Shambler and then Beggy?
Ooh,
Oh,
Shambler has a friend in town.
fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yep, but he's not telling you who. And Pebeggy is selling a goat.
I mean, that makes perfect sense.
Pebeggy was begging, and someone gave her a goat instead of money. And normally she would be offended by this, but a goat has real value, so she's here to sell it.
Absolutely. Fantastic.
Nice.
Jen, how about you? What is Redra here for?
Temporary proficient work.
Yeah, what's
So yeah, I guess on her way into adventure, she needed to make some more money, so she's trying to help out another herder of, this time it's not sheep, it's goats. Yes, goats.
fantastic.
That's probably how we bumped into each other, because I'm kind of assisting this goat herder right now.
Yes, with the
Yeah.
sale of the goat.
Yes, I'll help with the sale of the goat.
And then Del Derp.
Del Derp.
You're just like, doing odd jobs around town. You're itinerant labor in Oakwell Hamlet.
That makes sense. Yeah.
How about
Del
Mom
Derp.
Churro?
Lives there. Well, that's
Mom
where
Churro?
she always grew her mushrooms.
Absolutely, in Oakwell Hamlet.
Yes.
And who's your fourth character? Growlabless?
Growlabless is the son of Redra.
Yeah,
He lives here too.
fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Then finally, Rachel, would you roll for Agnes and then Beverly, Siri, and Dunatush?
Agnes is setting up shop, and she is a chest maker, so she'll probably be selling some chests, as well as maybe some mimics. So
And next,
Beverly lives here.
of course, I'm sorry I asked.
How
Oh.
dare you? She's been at church every week. Siri also lives here. Siri does not recognize her. Siri may be lying because she's a wanderer, but she stayed here longer than most places she stayed, so she might identify as being from here.
Fantastic. And finally, Dunatush.
Inatush is here for seasonal work. She sort of just kind of followed the migrant parade of workers in. I don't think she's actually intending to do work, but she's here under that pretense.
Fantastic.
Yeah, when
All
people
right.
ask why she's here, she said seasonal work, but not
Seasonal
that
work.
I'm going to do seasonal work, just that seasonal work is here, and that is why I am here.
Those are just
Right.
2 words that came out of her, and you put them together.
Seasonal work. Yes. Yeah, when Roll20 rolls on a table, the number result is always 0, even though it gives us a different table result. So, like, there's some weirdness in the way that it displays, but we've got excellent reasons for all of our adventurers to be here. So, a few weeks ago, people started going missing from Oakwell Hamlet, including even the 2 sons of the local smith, the smith named Ealdhall and her sons, Kiri and Alban. And this went on for a number of weeks with escalating numbers of people slipping away. And Oakwell is small. It's not a prominent town. So missing people were obvious. Then 3 nights ago, late at night, one of the missing folk came crawling back into town. It was Kimul, a dwarf. His form was twisted. One of his arms was rubbery like a serpent, and his teeth were jutting out from his mouth like a tiger's. One of his eyes was slitted like a cat's, and his skin had bristles pricking out all over. He gasped, The keep. And then he died of his wounds. Now, strangely enough, all 4 of you have heard rumors of the ruined keep nearby. Would each of you roll 1d10?
Ooh,
Fantastic.
I just
Used
need to
up all
point
your
out.
luck.
I know. Anyone who knows me playing with this group knows that is the only time that will ever happen, and it was the first time. So
There you go.
More likely, rolling high is bad, actually.
I hope it's good. Rachel,
Probably.
among your 4 characters, it is known. Beware the well. It has swallowed many a poor soul. That is not what I wanted to put.
Little advertisement.
Hey.
Remember, everybody, you can watch this show at our multi-Twitch, which you can see on our screen by watching any of our multi-Twitch streams. Beware the well, it has swallowed many a soul. Meanwhile, Koibu, your 4 characters. Yes. Re-roll, because this is already well known. Some of the villagers kidnapped in the night return as feral bestial monsters. 8. Oh, yes. Here we go. Nothing good can come of disturbing the evil ruins. You'll only unleash the horror beneath the hill. Anna, your 4 characters know that the keep was once ruled by a pair of brothers, Chaos Lords, the foulest champions of evil to ever stalk the land. And
that
Jen,
I tried to copy that down, but it was so much. The keep was once ruled by.
It's in
I've
the
written it
Roll20
in
chat.
Roll20.
Oh, ha!
Check it. Yes, and
7.
Jen, you also know, beware the well, it has swallowed many a poor soul.
Okay. I'll be very paranoid of the well then.
So, knowing this, now, here you stand in front of the keep, despite Justikar Snish's recent edict, banning anyone from going within 500 paces of its walls, whether out of a sense of duty or protection, fear or horror or curiosity, greed for gold or for power. You lot have banded together to get to the bottom of what's plaguing Oakwell. Now, before we take our first break, we see one other scene, which is our view zooms out back from this group of 16 brave souls. Do any of you have an animal with you?
I do.
Well, at least a goat and a horse on my
Yeah.
end.
16 brave souls and a goat and a horse. The view zooms out
and
then
a dog, a
fisheyes.
herding dog.
Oh, I have one of those too.
And
2
2
dogs.
herding dogs. God in heaven. And we zoom back through a crystal ball which is in the center of a large octagonal table, which is in the center of a richly decorated room around which stand 4 shadowy figures. Neal, would you care to introduce us to one of those 4? What do you look like? What is your name?
My name is Agatha, and oh wait, no, you were talking about the other people.
Yep, wrong one.
Wrong character. Sorry.
But I really like Agatha.
Well, no. See, it's Valerie, and like we've got some things that we need to do. There's like a whole keep over there. It's gonna be interesting. We're gonna get some people from our house, and then we're gonna have like a huge party to celebrate the successful adventures that they're gonna go on. And like, don't you worry, because I've got dresses for all of us. It's gonna be fabulous. Woo!
What does Valerie look like?
Oh, well, she's just in the latest fashion. Can you believe that I'm a summer, but with this weather, I'm gonna have to dress like an autumn, and it's kind of a problem, but like, don't worry, we've got the gown to go with it, and like, the dyes are a little slow in arriving, so maybe we're gonna have to come up with some like weird different type of smoky eyeliner to do, because like the blue's not arriving in time. Manservants.
Standing to the right of Valerie, we see Anna's character. Would you introduce us to your patron, Anna?
Standing in a dark, obscuring cloak with a cowl obscuring their face is a sorcerer, Anwar, the sorcerer of the Whispering Cowl. And if you lean close, it seems...
Wait, what's your name again?
Anwar.
Anwar.
As in noir film with an A at the beginning. Or, maybe Anwar has a French accent and I can try to, and maybe Jen and I can work on this together. Anwar.
Yes,
Anwar.
workshop the accent.
Anwar. Yes, and if you lean close, it seems like Anwar might be whispering something, but it's too far away to quite grasp. There's like this that comes from inside the cowl. So I assume that Valerie is often like, "What'd you say?" And he's like, so, yeah. And Anwar is carrying a staff of power with a small snake wound around the bottom. And standing there, being of many words and few at the same time.
Wonderful. We proceed, the camera panning around to land on Jen. Tell us about yourself.
Let me try the voice. We'll see if it sticks. I live in the Burrow, an imposing cavern located underneath the city, and today I am looking for the worthy. But these adventurers look weak. I bet they would be better for you guys.
What's your name, stranger, and what do you look like?
My name is Petrov, the prophet of Teotihuacan, which stands for the end of the world as we know it. And I am covered in bandages. We can only see my eyes sticking out, and we can see I had a bad time. My skin is burned. I have one blind eye. I'm missing a finger. Like it hasn't been a good time in my life at some point, clearly. But I'm very proud of my blind eye, actually, because I lost my vision when I saw the end of the world. And therefore, I do not hide the blind eye.
Fair trade, really. Amazing. And panning even further, quite a long ways, like an awkwardly long pan away from Petrov, we see Rachel's character. Tell us what your name is, what you look like, and how you feel about these 16 adventurers and their assortment of animals through the looking glass.
As that pan kind of comes, you see my character take even one more, like, kind of shuffle stuff away from Jen's character and maybe towards Valerie. Hi, y'all. My name is Kara. You can call me Kara because, well, I care a lot about you. And, shucks, I'm just so excited to be joining you all here today. We have a lot to cover, but we are going to be focused on getting ourselves back together, on accomplishing things, and on making tomorrow a better and brighter day. And Kara has very short purple hair, kind of like a side shave right here with a little bit of a swoop over top. And she's got kind of like the modern equivalent of like a t-shirt, like a camp counselor t-shirt. She's got a little wooden carved whistle. And she's got like a tabard on. So Kara's got a bit of a background where, I don't know, do I get too far into this right now? Nah? Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah. Kara's just a young,
we'll
enthusiastic purple, and very happy to be here.
Wonderful. Then, with the four of you looking interestedly at this collection of motley adventurers, and the adventurers approaching the forbidding walls of the keep on the hill, it is time for our first break. We're going to take 5 minutes, and we're going to take a break every hour so that we get a chance to get up, stretch our legs, get a glass of water, and we will be back momentarily to see what lies within.